Cleveland's finest are suddenly available, and Detroit's front office just got handed a golden opportunity on a silver platter. What's up, Lions faithful? Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, your home for breaking news, insider analysis, and everything you need to know about our beloved Detroit Lions. Today I'm bringing you something that could completely change the trajectory of our season, a development that has the potential to transform our offensive line from good to absolutely elite. Stay locked in, because what I'm about to break down could be the game changer we've all been waiting for. Let me paint you a picture of where we are right now. The Lions are sitting at a crossroads, folks. We've got championship aspirations, we've got the talent, we've got Dan Campbell's relentless mentality driving this team forward. But there's been something nagging at us, something that's kept me up at night ever since Christian Mahogany went down with that broken ankle against Minnesota. Our offensive line depth got exposed, and in this league, you can't afford to have question marks protecting your franchise quarterback. Jared Goff has been playing lights-out football this season. The man is operating at an MVP level, making throws that have the entire league taking notice. But here's the thing about elite quarterback play. It starts and ends with protection. You can have all the arm talent in the world, but if you're constantly under pressure, if you're getting hit on every other dropback, that efficiency disappears real quick. We've seen it happen to too many talented quarterbacks across this league. Now, I've been watching what's happening around the NFL, studying the landscape, analyzing which teams are buyers and which teams are sellers. And something caught my attention that I cannot stop thinking about. The Cleveland Browns, a franchise that's clearly in rebuilding mode, sitting on two of the most accomplished guards in the entire National Football League. I'm talking about Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller, folks. Multiple-time Pro Bowlers, absolute maulers in the run game, technicians in pass protection. These aren't just good players, these are difference makers. Bitonio has been to the Pro Bowl 4 times. 4 times. The man is a technician, someone who understands leverage, hand placement, and how to neutralize the most athletic defensive tackles in the game. He's the kind of veteran presence that elevates everyone around him. When you watch Cleveland's tape, even in their struggles this season, Bitonio stands out as someone who's still playing at an elite level. He's not washed up, he's not on the decline. He's in his prime and playing some of his best football. Then you've got Wyatt Teller, who might be the most physically dominant guard in football when he's healthy. This man is a road grader. When Teller pulls on those outside zone runs, defensive ends want no part of it. He's been to 2 Pro Bowls himself, and his combination of power and athleticism is exactly what modern NFL offenses need. Imagine Teller leading the way for David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs on those outside runs. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Here's where this gets really interesting. Cleveland is clearly in sell mode. They've already moved on from some pieces, they're evaluating their future, and they've got some tough decisions to make about veteran contracts. Both Bitonio and Teller are at points in their careers where their value to a rebuilding team doesn't match their value to a contender. That's where Detroit comes in. Think about what Brad Holmes has done since taking over as general manager. He's been aggressive when the opportunity presents itself. He's not afraid to make bold moves. We saw it with the Jared Goff trade. We saw it with how he's attacked free agency. We saw it with draft picks. This front office understands that when you have a championship window, you push all your chips to the center of the table. You don't hold back. You don't play it safe. You go for it. And folks, our window is wide open right now. We're not rebuilding. We're not developing. We're competing for a Super Bowl. Every move we make needs to be viewed through that lens. Does this help us win a championship? That's the only question that matters. Let's talk about the practical side of this. Christian Mahogany is out for a long time, according to Coach Campbell. That's not just losing a backup. That's losing depth at a critical position. We've already seen how injuries can derail a season. Look at what happened when we lost key pieces last year in the playoffs. Depth matters, especially along the offensive line, where one injury can create a domino effect that impacts the entire unit. Right now, we're looking at potentially sliding Tristan Colon or Kingsley Egwakun into more prominent roles. These are young players with potential, but are we really comfortable going into the playoffs relying on inexperienced guards to protect Jared Goff against the best defensive fronts in the NFC? I love our young guys, but championship teams don't hope and pray. They stack talent and create competition. Imagine this offensive line for a second. Frank Ragnow at center, arguably the best in the business, Penei Sewell at tackle, a future Hall of Famer in the making, Taylor Decker holding down the other tackle spot, and now you slide in Bitonio and Teller at the guard positions. That's not just a good offensive line, that's a historically great unit. That's the kind of line that imposes its will on opponents, that creates holes you could drive a truck through, that gives your quarterback all day to pick apart defenses. The run game would be absolutely unstoppable. Ben Johnson's offensive scheme is already one of the most creative in football, but when you have that kind of talent up front, it takes everything to another level. The play-action game becomes even more lethal because defenses have to respect the run. The screen game becomes more effective because you've got guards who can get out in space and create running lanes. Everything compounds on itself. And here's something people aren't talking about enough: the leadership and experience these guys would bring. We've got a relatively young offensive line outside of Decker. Having two veterans who've been to multiple Pro Bowls, who've played in huge games, who understand what it takes to win in January and February, that's invaluable. They'd mentor our young guys. They'd set the standard in practice. They'd bring a championship mentality to the room. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. What's the cost? What would it take to get both these guys? That's a fair question. Cleveland isn't just going to give away Pro Bowl guards for nothing, but here's the reality. Their leverage is limited. These are veteran players on a team that's not competing. If Cleveland holds on to them, they get nothing when they eventually move on. Brad Holmes knows this, and he's exactly the kind of negotiator who can work a deal that makes sense for both sides. We've got draft capital. We've got young players that other teams covet. We've got the flexibility to make something happen if we really want it. And based on everything we know about this organization, about Dan Campbell's aggressive mentality, about Brad Holmes's willingness to be bold, this feels like exactly the kind of move that fits our identity. Think about the message it would send to the rest of the league. Detroit is all in. We're not satisfied with being good. We're not content with winning the division. We want to be the best team in football, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. That kind of mentality, that kind of commitment, it resonates throughout the entire organization. Players see it, coaches see it, and it creates a culture where everyone is pushing in the same direction. The timing makes sense, too. We're about to enter the toughest stretch of our schedule. We've got battles coming up against elite defenses, teams that are going to test every aspect of our roster. Having that kind of security along the offensive line, knowing that we've got Pro Bowl talent at every position, that's the difference between winning close games and losing them. That's the difference between hosting playoff games and going on the road. I keep coming back to what Coach Campbell always says. We're going to bite kneecaps, we're going to be physical, we're going to impose our will. Well, you know what helps you do that? Having Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller opening up holes in the run game. That's kneecap biting personified right there. That's the physical, dominant brand of football that this organization has built its identity on. And let's be real about something else. Jared Goff deserves this. The man has completely resurrected his career in Detroit. He's playing at an elite level. He's leading this team. He's doing everything we could possibly ask of him. Don't we owe it to him to give him the best possible protection? Don't we owe it to him to stack this roster with as much talent as possible? I think we do. This isn't about being desperate or panicking. This is about being smart and aggressive. This is about recognizing an opportunity when it presents itself and having the courage to seize it. Cleveland's loss could be our gain, and in a league where championship windows close quickly, you can't afford to let opportunities like this pass you by. So here's what I think happens. I think Brad Holmes is already on the phone. I think conversations are happening behind the scenes. I think Detroit recognizes that this could be the move that puts us over the top. And I think when the dust settles, we're going to see one or both of these guys wearing Honolulu blue ready to help us make a run at the Super Bowl. That's my analysis, that's what I'm seeing, and that's why I'm more excited about this team's future than ever before. But I want to hear from you. Do you think the Lions should go after Bitonio and Teller? What would you be willing to give up to make it happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to Lions News Fan Report for daily updates and in-depth analysis, and hit that notification bell so you never miss breaking news. We're your source for everything Lions, and I'll be here bringing you the latest as the situation develops. Let's go get these guys and bring a championship to Detroit. One pride, baby.